Makita is one of the most popular power tool brands today, as I found out firsthand when I posted some not very positive opinions about them recently in a video as far as bang for the buck goes. So I'm at my local Home Depot today to see if the fanboys have a point. I'm going to price out the best woodworking setup that I can for under $500, including current promos and pricing, and see if the fanboys have a point. Let's get started. When I walked in, we immediately ran into our first issue. Where the hell is Makita? I feel like I remember them having their flag flown on the walls just like Milwaukee and DeWalt do. Never as prominently or bigger than those brands, but I don't remember them being completely non-existent. After some hunting around, I found an island display that looked a little bit promising. Now, admittedly, that dual battery rear handle saw kit looks pretty badass, and it was tempting, but obviously $359 is going to blow our budget almost immediately, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more than just cut wood with this kit. Although, if that's all you're into woodworking for, more power to you, that's awesome. My store was out of stock of this LXT drill driver kit, which would have given us some batteries on that charger, but it's fine because even on sale at $359, that's also going to be cutting into a significant portion of our budget really early into the challenge. Now, I will say my store's in clearance price was $234 after I looked online while it was in stock. And this challenge aside, that price is actually awesome for a Makita brushless kit this high end. So if you're already in the Makita line, you might want to go check out your local Home Depot to see if they have this deal available. As far as this challenge goes, it's going to be a no just given our current budget. But this is exactly the kind of hidden gem deal that I'm going to be adding to my deal alert program, which is going to be launching in a couple weeks. So head on over to my website and enter your email to be notified when that goes live. But I digress. Now, as I always say, a drill driver kit is usually the best place to start when building out a new set, because not only do you get the drill and impact driver that you'll probably use on every project, you also get a couple of batteries and a charger typically in those kits. And there was a decent variety of options in the $200 to $300 range. For whatever reason, I'm drawn to compact drills and drivers. This could just be me, but when I'm working on a project, more often than not, I'm wishing I had extra maneuverability rather than extra raw power. That could just be me though. It might also just be the fact that the subcompact line from Makita comes in this really cool looking black color. Now the price on that kit isn't too bad at around $250, but that is halfway through our budget, and I'm hoping to get some additional tools as well. So I think in this case, we're gonna have to compromise a little bit to reach that price point, going with the regular brushed compact kit. So when the prices are close, I tend to gravitate towards brushless for the extra longevity, power, and runtime. But unfortunately, the price difference here, given our budget, I think is just a little bit of a bridge too far. So we're gonna stick with the brush tools in this case. Now, to be fair to Makita, even though I'm going with the brush version, you're not really giving up a lot specs-wise. The torque and RPM numbers are pretty close between the two kits. So in this kit, we'll get the drill, an impact driver, two 1.5 amp hour batteries, and a charger. So now we're gonna move on to saws. And this was a category that I was very excited about. I think saws are usually the most interesting and fun category to kind of shop for, but I was sorely disappointed. The in-store variety was minimal at my local Home Depot. I scanned down the aisles to see if I was missing anything in nooks and crannies, and the answer is not really. I was really surprised by this. I mean, Makita boasts over 300 tools in their cordless line, but it seems like a lot of those are either accessory type tools or outdoor lawn equipment, and they also have a lot of brush tools in that lineup. So in other words, I think Makita has a lot of fluff in that number. And I checked online as well. I didn't really see that I was missing any major models online versus what I was seeing in store. And I was at the point where, honestly, I was at the end of an aisle and I came across this icon at the back of it for $174, and I was tempted to just give up on the cordless thing altogether. I know there's a lot of love out there for these older model Makita 5007 corded saw designs, and by all accounts they're great tools, but at the end of the day we're trying to build a cordless platform. If I'm just going to go with the corded options, there's really no point in trying to find the kit with batteries either. And by the way, that $239 price tag that you see in the video is for the rear handle version, not for the 5007 like I mentioned. So I looked down the aisle a little bit more, and luckily I did find another hidden gem, subcompact, brushless, 6.5 inch circular saw. And like I mentioned, I'm a fan of compact tools, especially for somebody whose workshop is literally the size of a closet. Caught my eye immediately. It's on sale right now for a pretty excellent price of $149, and it's half the weight of that 5007 model that I was just talking about a minute ago. And with this newer design, it's able to provide nearly identical cutting capacity to that larger corded circular saw, which is pretty cool. So neither of these saws are going to be able to cut a 3x3 in a single pass, but both can do a 2x2 in a single pass at 90 degrees or 45 degrees. So I think this is a great option, even if it is locked away in a cage, deodorant from CVS style. So we have about $152 left, and we're gonna have to make some decisions here. While I think a router is a near critical tool for a wood shop, given our budget, I think we're only gonna have room for a third tool category. And if we really boil woodworking down to its core essentials, it's all about cutting, fastening, and finishing, right? I mean, almost every project boils down to that. So with that being the case, with $150 left, I think our final tool needs to be a random orbital sander. Now, this is where Makita probably let me down the most for the day, because I really wasn't finding any options in my local Home Depot. I looked online to see what I was missing. The only brushless, cordless option that I could find in their whole lineup, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is the 40 volt brushless orbital sander, which costs $250, by the way. And as a side note, I don't really understand why a 40 volt battery is essential for a sander of all tools. It's not really under that significant of a load. Mind you, that 40 volt battery is not backwards compatible. So not only do you have to buy this pretty expensive sander, you also have to buy into a whole new battery and battery charger to even use it in the first place. So this is going to be way out of our budget for this challenge. And the only option Makita really gives us, unfortunately, is the $139 brushed cordless random orbital sander. So we'll pick that one up. Now, I'm hesitant about this because as far as brushed versus brushless tools go, you can get away with it for a lot of tools. For a sander, brushless is going to make the biggest difference, in my opinion, because that motor is on constantly. By the way, I'm so confused how Home Depot decides what does and what does not go into its cages. This $139 brush sander gets put behind a locked cage. You have to ask an associate to lock it for you. But this $209 Makita multi-tool corded is just out in the open. I'd love someone to explain that to me. Now, like I mentioned, I did want to pick up a router. It's always useful to have one in the shop, especially if you don't have a table saw. You can do a lot of joinery with a router, but unfortunately the cordless brushless variety is $219. They do have a corded trim router from Makita that's well regarded at $149, which is more expensive than a lot of mid-tier brands cordless brushless router, but I digress. Nonetheless, we have a few dollars left over in our budget for an accessory. I want to use up the whole budget. And I really like this impact rated 12-inch extension bit, so we're gonna grab it. Maybe you're screwing in a lot of doorknobs, I don't know. So in summary, here's what we got for a $500 budget in this cordless Makita challenge. One 18-volt charger, two 1.5 amp hour batteries, one compact brushed drill, one compact brushed impact driver, one subcompact brushless 6.5-inch circular saw, one brushed 5-inch random orbital sander, and a long-ass bit holder, all for the grand total of $498.97. For a comparison, in last week's video, we put together a Hercules kit with the same tools, plus a trim router, swapped the drill for a hammer drill, all the power tools brushless, the batteries upgraded to 5 amp hours instead of 1.5 amp hours, and even if we throw in Hercules' own 12-inch extension, that's all going to cost around $484. And with that brushless boost, I think you're probably going to see even slightly better performance from the Hercules line than from some of these brush Makita tools. But as far as the tools you're buying today with this budget, I think it becomes clear that Makita really feels behind when it comes to not only new brands like Hercules, but brands like Milwaukee and DeWalt as far as their cordless, especially brushless cordless lines go. So maybe you think me putting Makita in the B tier was too low. I'm gonna be honest with you, based on the exercise we just did, I think it might be too high on that list. And make sure you're subscribed for the updated power ranking bang for the buck tool list that we're gonna do at the end of the year. There's more brands coming soon to this series as well. And until the next one, as always, no matter what shade of blue or teal your power tools are, enjoy the build. Thanks for watching.